And we're back. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. 6:35 on a Monday, no football, but here to speak about the weekend and that. So that's the positives. What you said, my guy Jeff. Also, Rash is about to get in. He's just fixing something. John's not here today, but yeah, Jeff, my brother, what are you telling me?
All good, my dog. Ready to talk some football, man. Real ball talk style, ain't me?
Trust me, man. Unfiltered, man. We got a lot to get through today as well, man. It's been a hectic weekend. You know, we was debating when John was like, "Oh, he can't make it." I was thinking, "Oh, I can't bother to run the show." But now I looked at the results and I was thinking, "Nah, we got a lot to touch on. Like, there's a lot that's happened this weekend for there not to be a show for the people." You get that? So,
yeah.
I mean, what? Just quickly before Rash gets in here, I really wanted to touch on this.
Yeah.
Newcastle's obviously been given that big news, right, in regards to, oh, we're going to get money in. We're going to be potentially, spending this big money. But then when you look at it, you look at the players, you would have thought one thing from the players, right, is we're all going to play to keep our spot because, once, money comes in like this, they get rid of all the dead wood.
Yeah.
But when I looked at the table, like I looked at the table now, why are they bottom? Like, they're bottom, bro. Like, what's going on?
Bro, they're just not good, man. Like, I think they're trying. They're doing all they can, but, bro, they're just not good. All they have is really St. Maximin. Wilson, don't get me wrong, is a proven goal scorer, but when you got people like Joe Linton playing week in, week out, it kind of speaks for itself, innit? Like, Joe Linton's not good. Like, bro, they got Ryan Fraser's like hella inconsistent. Even John Joe Shelby, like, he's technical, but he's inconsistent too. Like, 1 minute he starts, next minute he don't. So, like, it don't even surprise me that they're this bad. Like, last season, Bruce did well to get 12th.
12th last season?
Yeah, he finished 12th. And, bro, I think he finished 12th and all he got was Willock. He asked for more people and all they gave him was like 25 mil for Willock. And that's because it's money over 5 years. They ain't paying 25 mil up front. It's like 5 mil each year. So it's small change.
Small change. Yeah, but now they've got this big thing. So now who's in charge now? It's Eddie now, isn't it?
Eddie Howe, yeah, man.
I like him personally. I don't know about you, but I like him, to be fair. But I still feel I don't know if these are the kind of players that's for him and his kind of playing style for me. Jojo Shelby's one player that I'm happy you brought up. I think he'll stay. His technical ability is quite sick, in my opinion. I like him personally, man. He can hit the ball. He can spread it. He's not going to nutmeg someone and then do something. You know what I mean, they don't need to beat a man to do something, but he's good at. You can tell that he's a proper midfield football player. Do you get it? So
he can play. He's just another annoying one. Like, I don't know when, like, because Newcastle have a lot of money to spend, even without the owners putting in what they need to put in. Like, Mike Ashley was just tight. Like, they have money. Like, they got a lot of money, like, without that. So, like, they can spend a lot. I don't know if he stays in a perfect Eddie Howe team. Like, he can play, but that's not enough. Like, technical Billy ain't enough for you to keep your place. He can't even keep his place without a new manager. Like, he was in and out of the team last season.
Facts, man, facts. Yeah, I like Jojo Shelby. I liked him at Liverpool and all that as well, man. But yeah, no, I get your point. Technically it can't save you. You've got to actually be consistent and play well. You can't just do 2 good shots against Arsenal and say, oh, you missed me. Do you know what I mean? So you could make a good point there, man. But I look at players like St. Maximum, like, as a player, football player, you hearing that news, oh, what? They've got money now. The upstairs got money now. I'm going to get better players. I can play better. Because let's be real, he's a good player to watch. You put him in Liverpool, City, Chelsea. Well, his name will be ringing bells, 100. But is he frustrated, or is he saying to himself, the club will change. I'm still playing well. I'm going to wait it out. You know
what? He might have no choice to kind of weigh it out because a lot of the top teams have good wingers anyway. Like, if he was going to move, he's going to end up maybe Arsenal if we can afford him. Man United, me too, bro. But Man United got a bare wide man. Chelsea the same. City have a lot of wide man, and he's not the finished article yet, innit? Like, he still does a lot of things like wrong, but he's just like really good on the ball. Like, he carries that team, but for him, it might be worth just staying for a year, like continue to get better, learn under Eddie Howe, because Eddie Howe's actually a good manager. Like he'll learn some things, because right now he's doing what Grealish was doing at Villa. He's just running around and he's just good enough to get past people, isn't it? Like, but you're not actually linking up well with the team. You're just a one-man band.
Yeah.
So like I think it's in his best interest just to stay, get better, and maybe in a year's time or end of the season, if he gets better quickly, then you look to say, all right, what else is out there for me? Is it worth leaving, or do I stay and see what they're going to build around me?
That's a good point, man. I think he's got 2 years. He's got 2 years left. So, yeah, if you're right, if what you're saying is right, price tag will go up, man. Because look at Grealish, and French players are looked upon to bring to a team, because there's a lot of good French players in the Premier League, man, which is really good at the moment. All right, cool, yeah, man. What about? Where did you have Brentford? Where did you have Brentford? Kind of. Where did you have them?
Man, I think my bottom three. I might be wrong. I had Brentford, Palace, and Norwich, which I'm hella wrong on 2 at the moment. like Norwich, I still don't think they're gonna stay up. Like, don't get me wrong, they're doing okay under Dean Smith, but they just ain't got enough. Like, there ain't enough there. But hey, man, Brentford. After they played us, you kind of saw that. All right, cool. Like, this stadium's gonna be a problem to go to, and they scalped another team in it. Like they played against Everton and another good victory. So they still could go down. Don't get me wrong, but they're gonna go down with a fight if they go down. Like, they're gonna upset a lot of teams.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. So I had Brentford as well. The reason why I asked is I had Brentford as well, and I see them sitting on 16 points, and for me, I still see them going down, because I watched the Everton game. Don't get me wrong, some good football there. But then when I started looking at the bench, I always look at the bench just to see who potentially can come on to change the game. The game's not really going anywhere at this point. It's not going. You're not going. So I'm looking at the bench. No one there, bruv. Like, I'm not being real. You look at the squad, and to be in the Prem, for a fact, you need strength and depth. Like, this is why teams always go down. Like, they play well mid-table at the moment, and then they just go bang down. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, I think because obviously Tony's their best player, in it. Like, if Tony or most important player, I won't say best, he's their most important though. So like, if he gets injured, like, they lose a lot up front, because he's like, he wins headers, he's strong, he can finish. In Mbeumo too, like, he's quick, he's strong. But if he gets injured, say for 2-3 weeks, that's a whole side of their pitch they can't replace. Like, don't get me wrong, Canos is cool. Like, Canos can play, but like, that other side, like, those big players, I think Rash is here, by the way. Those big players, I just don't think they can replace, man. The squad's too thin. But I still think, like, if everyone's fit, they've given us problems. They've given who else problems? Leicester won, but they're giving Liverpool problems too.
Yeah.
So they're a difficult team to face, man.
Yeah, man. Just before we touch on that Crystal Palace one you had in your bottom three, obviously it's good. It's a good way to bring in Rash, man. And just because we're touching on a few teams, man, we're not touching on the results. We're just touching on teams at the moment and how they're doing and stuff. Yeah. So how you? I mean, I don't know where you had Palace, but how do you see them at the moment, especially with a player like a legend, like Vieira coming in? Obviously, we saw the battle between Gerrard and Vieira and tactical play and stuff. But how do you see Palace since September till now, and where do you see them at the end of the season?
Well, first of all, I think Palace are actually doing quite well. I think Vieira has made a few changes, and they've been very positive, and their results are saying so as well. They had setback against Leicester. I kind of thought that this setback might actually happen because the week beforehand they had quite a battle, didn't they? Where they were scoring quite a lot of goals, but they were also leaking in quite a few as well. I think it ended up a draw, something like 3-3. So I thought it was probably due that they were going to probably hold a little loss. But I think they've come a long way already in a small period of time. They've got an identity, and it seems like a new DNA that they seem to be ascribing to, and they all seem to like the football that they're playing. You hear it in the speeches after the match. For instance, Zaha's interviews, He's just like, look, we've got an idea. We're not just hoofing it up there. We're building from the back. We're actually playing football. You know what I mean? And when someone stresses that, they're happy about what's happening. You know what I'm trying to say? They're happy about what's going on. So I think everyone else can also see it. The Palace fans also can see it. We're happy over here. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Down in South London. I just think it's for them now to pick up. It's important for them to now not lose points, or shall I say not get any points on their next game. It's important. Show a little bit of character, get back into the flow, and start picking up points again. See Leicester as a little setback. It was Leicester, wasn't it?
I know you mean Villa, sorry.
Villa, sorry, yeah, that was it, yeah. To see Villa's the loss to Villa as a little setback, you know what I mean? I can't, do you know what is mad? I just knew it was gonna be Gerrard. He was gonna take it. As much as I wanted it to, it's always just like that, isn't it? It's just always the way. It's just okay. The golden boy is gonna win. Do you know what I mean? And in my back of my head, I was just like, I can't see why Villa would win, but I bet they will. And they did. But yeah, I don't think it's too much doom and gloom for Palace. I think it'll be quite easy for them to pick up some more points on in the next few games, and it's just for them just to build some consistency and just show their character. You know what I mean? They've got some young lads that seem to be mentally strong over in Palace. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think it's anything to worry about. But yeah, I'm impressed with what they're doing.
Eze's back too.
Yes, that was very good to see as well, him coming on.
Do you know what? It was 15 minutes the first goal went in, yeah. And even when the 15 minutes that goal went in, it was Target.
Yeah, Target.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that goal went in, I still saw fight in Palace. Like, I know it's early and there should be fight, but you still thought half time it probably could be 1-1. Or you're just thinking that for the whole game. I know the last goal didn't come until the 90th minute, but I guess it got killed off into the last minute. So Steven Gerrard clearly had a plan to come out attack first, you know, get that goal, make mistakes, and think of other patterns to break us down. And he won that one, man. He won that one. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, he's inheriting a good team. Like,
yeah,
they're already a good team. It's just they had a bad start. Like, in a way, you might think Dean Smith might have been like sacked like unfairly, innit? Like, because like that team takes time to gel. Like, you can't buy Ings, even Ashley Young came back. Who else am I missing?
Played well as well.
Hey, Ashley Young's doing well for their squad, man. I'm not gonna lie, because just that seniority there, it helps out, innit?
Experience, for real.
But yeah, like he's like, it's kind of like, don't get me wrong, Gerrard's a good manager anyway. He did well at Rangers, but it's gonna be hard to like fail with that team. Like, when people were saying our Villa looked like they could be in trouble early on, it's like, nah, man, they got too much quality there.
They do.
There's Ings don't even have to start. Like, Ings don't start like that. It's Watkins, there's Buendia, there's Young, there's Bailey, there's El Ghazi. There's a lot of players that can do damage in it. So
Nakamba, McGinn.
McGinn, hey, and I want to say McGinn is probably top 5 in the Prem on form right now. Like, not on ability or like when everyone's at their peak. I'm just talking about right now on form.
Consistency and form. Yeah,
he's been really, really good this season. Just kind of gone under the radar. But yeah, man, I think Villa will finish. Villa will probably finish in the top 10 by the end of the season.
So do you guys think Villa will finish above Palace? Do you think Palace will finish above Villa?
I think, me personally, I still think Villa will probably finish above them. But I think they're meant to. With what they bought, like, there's a lot of good players there. Even if you look at their squad from goalie to centre forward, there's a lot of international players there, like that start for the international clubs. So it's good. I think with Palace, like Vieira, don't get me wrong, Vieira's like steadied the ship. I'm gonna say it now. My prediction's gonna be horribly wrong by the end. They ain't gonna get relegated. No way. So like, they'll be cool. They'll probably finish like towards the top of the bottom half. They'll probably like 11th, 12th, 13th.
Yeah.
They'll probably finish there. Like, I think their key is if you can keep Benteke scoring, keep Zaha like interested, and Eze as well, then you got something. Because that Gallagher kid as well can play.
Oh, I
So
like him.
there's some good signs there. There's some really good signs there, man.
Do you think the same, Rash? Do you think the same in terms of the positioning of Villa will finish above and then Palace?
Yeah, I think look, Villa's been all right. You know what I mean? They've been a good squad. Finished in all right position last season. With the acquisition of Martinez, it just strengthened up the back in its totality. You know, I think it was Mings and Konsa had the best dual defensive record last season. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So together, so they kind of settled things in the back. So that's not the usual worry for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then by adding Brendia to the squad as well, got Watkins firing. El Ghazi's back on the score sheet as well. So you just got to look at their team and say, do you know what? They are a well-established team and they are solid throughout. Enough for them to finish within the top 10, probably top 8. Yeah, this season. Whereas I think Palace's aim would be to actually try and finish 10th. You know what I'm trying to say? That would be their target for the season. Yeah, I think Villa will finish a bit higher. But yeah, I was shocked when Jeff said at the beginning that he thought that Palace would get relegated because I was just like, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Haven't you seen the guys that have just come up? Do you know what I mean?
You can see why though. You can see why though with who they had. You know, they kind of lost their identity when Hodgson's retired. Do you know what I mean? So
I mean, look, they haven't really had an identity since what's my man name? The manager, Shuffle guy. What's his name? What's his name? Got them to the FA Cup final. Was it or the Carling Cup final? One of those cup finals, and they lost to Man United.
I know you're talking about. I forgot his name.
What's his name?
What's Pulis? You mean?
No, I keep saying Pulis in my head, but it's not Pulis. Pulis. It was Guys in the comments, send us a comment. Let us know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, whatever.
He was the ex-Palace player. He used to play for Palace back in the day as well.
You know, you did that shuffling thing, yeah. You were talking about that basketball thing, that basketball.
It was Pardew, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was Pardew. Yeah. Remember when Palace scored in the cup final and he thought they was gonna do things, so he started dancing on the line and they
that was dread. Punching was even crying. Like he scored a big goal. You're thinking, yeah, they're gonna go win. Nope.
Jesse Lingard, mate.
Yeah, other ideas.
Yeah, but yeah, so I don't think they've really had like a kind of identity since then. Do you know what I mean? And I think what we can see now is that they do, and it's just for them to build on that.
Yeah, Saha said it. Saha said we're not just kicking the ball up the pitch anymore. We actually got identity in it. You love to hear that from players, man. So, due to the football, obviously, Burnley and Tottenham got called off, you know, so we can't really speak on them ops. So let's go on to some of the big games, man. Like, let's talk about the big games. You man, tell me what you want to start with. Can we start with the Man City game, which is big for football? I think it was West Ham, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We could go Liverpool and Chelsea. We could go Arsenal and Newcastle.
You mean Chelsea United? You mean?
Chelsea United. What did I say?
Yeah, you said Chelsea and Liverpool. I think you said, but yeah,
I said Chelsea.
Chelsea and United.
Liverpool, Southampton. Let's touch on Liverpool, Southampton quickly. All I'm saying, when the African Cup of Nations come true, Liverpool pissed.
It's just a little cup, you know. It's just a little tournament in between for a little while.
What's your thoughts on that then? Let's start there, man. Violence when you came on back, yeah? What do you think Klopp meant by it? Because we know we're football boys, isn't it? Like we can interpret it how we want, but it actually had a massive effect in Africa. You know what I mean? Like they all thought, oh, do you know what I mean? But people want to be hurt when they want to be hurt. You know what I'm saying? But what do you think about the comment? And just explain.
To me, look, I'm going to say two things. All right.
Go on.
Then I'm going to say what I think Klopp meant. All right. Now, first thing I'm going to say is, look, even if he did mean a little tournament, let's just say he did mean that. Look, if we look at the reality of the situation, it is a big tournament because Africa is a very big continent. They've got a lot of stars from the continent as well. A lot of people who would be interested in seeing it. But globally, if we talk about how many spectators globally tune in to the African Cup of Nations compared to the Euros or the World Cup, or I mean,
Copa America.
maybe even Copa America might even get a little bit more views. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Globally. So even if he did mean that, no disrespect, but compared to the other competitions, it is a little one out of the lot. Yeah. But I understand people getting offended by that, because to them on the continent, this is the biggest event for them, because this is their continent, like the Euros is to us. You know what I'm trying to say? So I understand them taking like that. However, in the context of things, okay, to me, it just seemed like he said there's nothing like, it's like saying, yeah, there's nothing that can stop us. And then he's just quickly remembered, oh yeah, there's a little one over there. But other than that, there's nothing that can stop us. And to me, that's how I took it. I didn't take it as he was calling the actual competition a little competition. I think he already stated, yeah, like from this point on, there's no interruptions, blah, 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 blah. And then it quickly came to his mind that there is one. And it's gone, oh yeah, except for the little competition in between, da. But other than that, we haven't got any problems. That's how I took it. Now, that's because I'm listening to it in how it was in the conversation. If you just take the actual sentence out of context and just look at it without no content behind it, then you're going to think, wow, that's a disrespect. So it's about keeping things in context, and that's how I interpreted it. You know what I mean?
No, I think I interpret it the same way, but I think from their point of view in regards to everything, you know, it's been said for years. So Klopp's not the first person to say that, by the way, and get upset about why is there an international break during a very busy period, and the whole football league hasn't stopped. Like compared to, you know, when we have our breakouts for England going on doing their thing, and you see the, you know, international breaks and stuff. Why is there a big tournament? And obviously the explanation was, you know, in the summer, Africa's hot. Depending on where you go, it's hot. It's too hot to play football. That's why the World Cup in Croatia it's in December, right? It's in the winter because it's too hot in the summer, so it can't happen normal time. And if we're being real, it is a small tournament compared to what, you know, the amount of money comes in and the viewers, and that's what Klopp was trying to say. So to me, Klopp knew what he was saying, in my opinion, because he's not the first person to say it. He knew what he's saying, but because it kind of got highlighted as a negative, he had to defend himself. But to me, he didn't say anything wrong. You know, he didn't say anything wrong, but people took it wrong. Jeff, what do you think?
See, I had a different view on it. Like, I think he's led there by the reporter, first of all. The reporter is the one, if anyone should have a problem with what was said, they should have a problem with the reporter. Because the reporter is the one who said something kind of like flippant and indirectly disrespectful if you're going to be angry about it. Because he kind of said it and then he laughed. And then Klopp's like, oh yeah, there's the little talk. I think it was sarcasm. Because if my best players are African players, then every time at this point of the season, they are going to this tournament. So to me, even I don't think he meant like, how can he think it's a small tournament if it affects his club a lot? Like,
so you think he was being sarcastic?
To me,
meaning it's a big tournament.
Yeah. Like
he's losing his biggest players.
Yeah, that's what I thought. When I didn't think it was like disrespect or anything like that. But when you take those anecdotal small clips and they circulate, then there's no context with it. Like, you haven't seen the full interview, you haven't really seen anything before, and you're looking for something shock value wise, you'll automatically just say, hey, he was doing this. It's like, even when like there was the African guy actually called in afterwards. Yeah. Like, to me, it's just like, all right, I understand you could be offended, but don't just be offended just to be offended. Like, listen to the whole thing first and then make a judgment. Because it's kind of like he kind of went off, and then by the end, like, Klopp was like, I don't even want to speak to this guy. Like, you didn't even really listen to what I was saying, which is right to me.
Yes,
like,
true.
Like, there's actual, like, relating to that issue, there's a lot of actual things going on in the world which are actual issues. This is just a clip taken out of context to me. Like, I didn't view anything by it. Klopp's history doesn't suggest that he's that kind of guy personally. So it really didn't make any sense to me when the clip was circulating personally.
Yeah, no, of course. But I don't, yeah, as you said, like it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It shouldn't be a big deal. He's going to lose both his players. You know what I mean? So, having said that, if I think they've gone for roughly about 3 or 4 games. So where do you guys think roughly Liverpool could end up just off? The beautiful run they've got going, man. They've got Thiago playing really well. That, in my opinion, I just first time that was their best team in all positions. I think the only one that people may argue is Matip. Should have been there. But I think that French new kid they got at centre back, he's a beast. Konate, that's it. Thank you. So if you look at their position, so Robbo was back, Trent. Then they had in the middle Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago. Obviously the 2 wingers and Jota. So for me, that's the strongest 11 they have, in my opinion. But we know it's going to be broken down. What's your boys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I probably agree, and that's their strongest team. Yeah, Matip again. I think like Konate is he's a long-term replacement, isn't it? Like I don't know, Matip is what 31 maybe. I might be wrong. Which is still not a bad age, but they now have that flexibility to be like, all right, Konate can play, who is kind of like Van Dijk in a way. Yeah. Like they're both really tall, physical, and fast, like very fast.
Quick.
But yeah, that's probably their strongest team, I'd say. Yeah, Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago. Yeah, it's good to see like Thiago again back to the form we know he can, like before Liverpool. He's kind of been unlucky so far, like COVID. Then he had like a 3-month injury. So it's been like on and off. But yeah, I think I said Liverpool will finish like 3rd or 4th. I can't remember which way around I said it. I think I might have said 4th. I still think they could finish 4th, which isn't a disrespect to them, but
no.
I honestly do think United will get it together. I don't think they're a team like we should write off because they had a bad 3-4 games. Like Liverpool are great, don't get me wrong, but if like Salah's at the top of his game, if Salah gets injured for a few weeks, it messes up the balance of that team.
Facts.
Personally.
Facts. So you said so you still think United? I mean, they played well. We're going to touch on them to be fair, but you still think United still got a chance to obviously be in top 4, which you just said, and you still think they could potentially finish above Liverpool? Yeah.
Yeah, still think that.
Fair, man. Fair. We're sticking with word. Rash, what do you think? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think I had Liverpool down to finish 4th at the end of the season. Again, as Jeff was saying, it's no disrespect to them. It's just a competition that's around them and the effects of mid-season competitions and stuff like that. So I actually, I think I put United to finish either 2nd or 1st. Actually,
you put them. I think you put them 1st.
I put them 1st.
We argued because I put them 4th. I put Liverpool 3rd, and I put Chelsea 1st, and I was debating. Remember, and I think most of us had City 1st or 2nd, and I think you're the only person that had United. Actually, no, maybe you had United 2nd.
No, I think I had it as 2nd, but I said the following week that I was going to put them as 1st, but he looked at right. So like
has it changed?
Yeah. Look, the season's been a weird one already. The amount of clubs that have been in the top 6 already this season, I mean, it could go any way in the order that it's going to finish in. Sometimes Chelsea look like they're on the form of their lives and they look like they're going to be unstoppable, but then you have them games like they did against Man United yesterday where they didn't look as dangerous. They dominated possession, but when United went forward, it looked dangerous. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So then I'm not as sure as I was 2 weeks ago about Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? City, they're consistent, but at the same time, something makes me think they've got a loss in them every now and again. Do you know what I mean? And it's not a loss that they've been played off the pitch, it's because it's just a weird one. Do you know what I mean? And with people like Kevin De Bruyne showing that he's not really too interested this season. I hope maybe there's something wrong with his mental state. I hope he's okay, but he's not really hit the form that he's supposed to be hitting as well. Yeah, they've got some great players that are performing, Cancelo, Rodri, and them and there. Do you know what I mean? They're doing their bits. Raheem's looking positive again, but where's the £100 million man? I don't know. Where's Grealish? Where's he gone? I don't know.
He's injured, no?
I don't know.
Yes.
What's going on? Is he injured?
Same injury as last year. I think it's just overuse. So I don't sound good. Like if you had the same injury twice in a year. Because remember he didn't play for like 9-10 games for Villa for a good while. Maybe it's a little bit less, but yeah, it's like some mysterious like muscle. Maybe he needs to adjust his game a little bit, which I think is gonna happen anyway. Because like Grealish could suffer from the Wilshere syndrome. See where you play a certain way and you take constant hits.
Yeah.
Like it could happen. Like the way Grealish plays, he holds onto the ball a bit. He's the most fouled player in the Premier League every single season. Which I think at some point, like Pep, this season, like we've kind of seen it. Like he's been dropped because it doesn't always work, especially against world-class opposition. Like Hakimi did well against him. He kept him quiet all game. So he's gonna have to adjust his game. I think he's an 8 anyway. I don't think he's a wide player personally.
Not fair, man.
Yeah. So even like you're saying, because the man with Grealish, like you're saying, he's like Wilshere. They play kind of like a risky type of football where they're kind of looking for the foul. They leave their leg in a little bit. They'll cut in between the gaps where they can see a little bit of space, and they're probably going to get a knock. But if they get through it, it's going to look amazing. They're them, them type of moves. So yeah, they're prone to get injured, those type of players, and it is a worry. It is a worry that it's the same injury. You know what I mean? Because we already know as Arsenal fans what reoccurring injuries look like. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Fair man like that.
Bear. So City I still think are the favourites, but that's just based on my surety of them understanding their style of play. Yeah,
I think I agree. I think me personally, I don't see anyone beating City, man. Like as good as Chelsea have started, City to me still look in gear 3. Like they're not anywhere close to like their top gear, and they're winning. And when they go on a run, it's normally like 11, 12 straight wins. And by that point, the gap could be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points. And then by the time they lose and they reset again, they'll go on another 8, 9 game win streak, and you won't catch them.
No, that's right. Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, Jeff, when we started this year, you said if City get a striker, no doubt they'll finish first. So you're standing on that, even though they haven't got the striker that we feel they need. They still look as dangerous, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, what I said is if we even without the striker, I still got them. Like they're gonna win it. It might be a little close, like maybe like 6 points, something like that. If they get a striker and it happens to be Harry Kane in January,
game
forget
over.
It. Don't even look at the league. Like Chelsea can relax. Like everyone can chill out.
Yeah. So obviously for the weekend, that was probably one of the biggest games. I think West Ham versus Man City. I think for everyone.
I think the result was necessary. I think City needed to stamp their authority and get this win, especially against West Ham, who are on form, who look like they could be the ones who like take points off of the top 4, the big top 6 clubs. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think they needed this victory. I think it was good that they got past that, because I think after that, who has City got now afterwards? They haven't really got anyone. Who they got?
Can't even remember.
I think they got us. I don't know.
No, we got United next.
They got Villa next. They got Villa next.
Okay, so yeah,
game.
And then after that,
after that, that's a good question. Pardon me.
Basically, it's games that they can win, basically, and it's not against someone who's challenging in the top 4, top 5. Do you know what I mean? So I think that win was really good.
Needed.
It's West Ham, yeah, it was needed. It was needed.
Yeah, because it's crazy because I think a lot of people thought West Ham would do the same business they did over Liverpool. Do you know what I mean?
Did.
You did. Okay, cool. What was your prediction? I know you didn't really post it anyway, but what was your predictions for that game before?
I think it was the reverse scoreline. I got it as 2-1 West Ham.
2-1 West Ham.
Yeah.
Fair. I think you weren't the only one. I think a lot of people had West Ham to beat City. I think a lot of people wanted West Ham to beat City because, let's be real, in everyone's eyes, West Ham's having a good season. This is a good season for them this early. Do you know what I mean? 13 games and you're sitting at 4th? That's a good season. But then when I was looking at everything, I saw that they played 13, won 7, drew 2 and lost 4. Then I looked at the Arsenal one. It was 1-7, drew 2, played 4. So what Rash is gone now. Jeff, in our opinion, we're not having a good season. We're having the season we're meant to have, the progressing season, the building up season. We're not expecting to win all our games. Like we're not expecting to beat Liverpool. Like when Liverpool beat us last week and then we bounced back this week to Newcastle. It's kind of expected in terms of the progress we're trying to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, like this is a question I'm going to ask you and Rash. Do you see? I know it's early, man, but 13 games. This is what predictions are about. We predict. But do you see Arsenal finishing above West Ham? I know we won't finish in the top 4, but I aim for top 5, top 6. Yeah, for me, one of the two, not 7th because I think that's a bad season. But 5 or 6, I'll take in terms of our progression. But do you see West Ham finishing above us or below us in the season they're having and the season we're having?
I still think that they will finish below us. It's like not gonna be like it's a good start, a very good start. But don't get me wrong, Antonio started really, really well. But when you've got like Antonio's another one who gets niggles often. And West Ham, if I'm not mistaken, they're doing well in the Europa League. When it gets to February, and because they're probably gone through or they're gonna go through.
No, they've gone. They've topped their group.
There you go. So when it gets to February and they've got 2 legs and they have to now juggle the team, have they got the depth to do that? Me personally, probably not. Like in certain positions, yes. It's not the same quality that they replace it with, though. Like with the wide players, they got like Lanzini, Benrahma, Bowen. Like those men are like can rotate. But in like key positions, it's going to get to points where people are going to be tired, man. Like I can't see them necessarily finishing above Arsenal. They may finish in the Europa Conference League spot, but I still think teams like Spurs are going to get like Spurs with all the slack they've got. They're still 4 points off us. It's not far. They've still got a Kane. They've still got a Son. It's not far. Even with Conte saying what he said about them because they lost in that Conference League game to like Mura or wherever they were. Like it's still like there's good teams, man. So like even like the way that City beat West Ham, I watched the game. West Ham got battered for 90 minutes. Like the scoreline doesn't say what actually happened to them. Like they got outplayed. Like I think City had 70% possession. I might be wrong, but they like it was like snowing. But they had you couldn't tell it was snowing by the way City were playing. Like they were popping West Ham all over the place. Like if Mahrez on another day, if Mahrez was awake, he scores a couple. Jesus had one cleared off the line. Like and they were without. Well, like KDB's got COVID, I think, at the moment anyway. Yeah. But he's not like I'll be honest. City don't need anybody right now. There's not one player they need. Like they proved that when they won the league basically without KDB last season.
Yeah.
Like he had 20 assists the season before, 19, and then he doesn't play much last season, and they still win convincingly. So I'm convinced there's not one player they really need. Like Sterling's another one. Like he been so important for them for 4 or 5 years, and then you just get dropped at the drop of a hat, and you find it hard to start. It just shows that this style that Pep's got is for anybody, man. Like if I like you and you can play a certain kind of football, you can fall into this. Like there's not one player who's indispensable. I don't think.
That's a very, very good point. Because I remember last season KDB was injured and they were saying, "Oh, who's going to step up? Who's going to fill in?" And then Gundogan came out of nowhere, started just banging goals, assisting, and just getting numbers, and was in the running for Premier League Player of the Season, like out of blue. And like, if I'm not mistaken, he came from Borussia Dortmund, and he didn't really hit the ground running when he came to City. Let's be real, like nobody really knew of him and anything like that. But you see him now, and you just think, what a player! Like he's not skillful, but he bangs goals. He's in the right place. He makes the right runs. He's not wasteful with the ball. Like his ball retention is amazing. I mean, Ras, what do you think? What do you think in regards to what Jeff said there?
Yeah, man. Look, I think City are the team to beat. I think they're the team who's got one hand on the title, but I think City's always got one hand on the title every season, just because of the way that they set up, their style of play, and their versatility as well. You know what I mean? They can recognize a danger, and they've got something ready for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, don't worry, we've got a formation and a tactic to deal with that as well. Hey, we need to do PH 13. You know what I'm trying to say? Whatever that is. You know what I mean? So I just think City are always going to be the dangerous, the team to beat, the team that's got one hand on the title. Their game at West Ham, like Jeff said, man, the scoreline kind of complements West Ham a lot more than what the actual visual was. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It was dominant. They controlled the game, but like they always do. Most of the times they do, and you kind of find that the only time City don't is when another team goes head to head with them. Do you know what I mean? And manages to get the ball past the midfield and try and keep it in that final third. That's when they really have their toughest opposition. But yeah, like there's not much you can say about City, man. They are City, and they do what they do. And like Jeff said, if there's a player that's not injured, there's always one to fill in the gap, someone to come in as well. Do you know what I mean? And that's what you need when you've got a strong first, second, and third squad. You're a team that can contend for most titles.
That's squad, you know.
No, seriously, because if you look at their third squad, like their young bucks that are coming through, that come in and play now and again, but they can come in and they do a job every time they come on. How many of them have come on and you said, "Wow, he looked out of his depth"? Like none of them. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
So Palmer went and scored in Champions League, easy
for debuting that. Came on, sub, debut, scored, wiped his brow. It's nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
man.
Yeah, man. Like, a lot of fans, when they don't want to support their teams anymore, they always seem to go to City, and there's a reason for that. So, yeah, a couple people, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sip your drink, man. No, big up CJ, man. I think he was going back to saying what Jeff said. He thinks that we'll finish above West Ham because of Europa League, and that's what Jeff said. So yeah, man, big up CJ for that. And I think we got another comment as well. Well, yeah, man. Hey, wow, man, what's up, bro? Big you up for leaving a comment. But we touched on Liverpool in terms of what Klopp said and how devastating it's going to be in regards to losing Salah and Mane. We spoke about how, you know, Liverpool versus Southampton probably was your best squad and you should keep them, to be fair. And, you know, we touched on that already. So just after this, rewind this a bit, man. But we touched on Liverpool, man. We've got about 10 minutes left, so let's touch on Arsenal quickly.
The goons.
Oh, no, actually, before I touch on Arsenal, I asked a question to Jeff, man, and to ask you as well. So obviously, with the West Ham thing, obviously, I'll just repeat what I said. Bless you. I'll just repeat what I said. So with West Ham, and people are saying West Ham's probably having one of their better seasons, or one of the best seasons. You know, playing 13 games in fourth place, that's quite amazing for a team like West Ham, right? And they played 13, you know, 1-7, drew 2 and lost 4. And if you look at that, that's exactly the same as Arsenal, bro. But for us, and we're not crazy like we're playing sick or we're playing shit. No, we're doing what we're supposed to. You get what I'm saying? This is what we're supposed to in terms of the building and stepping up and stuff. So this is okay for us. And this is what I expect. Losing to Liverpool and then coming back and bouncing back against Newcastle and getting 2 points and getting 3 points and scoring 2 goals is kind of what I think we all had in our mind, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So the question to ask Jeff is, do you see us, you know, because I think you had us 5th, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you see us, if we finish 5th, do you see West Ham finishing above us or below us?
I put West Ham will finish 6th. I think I put So
No, after the results you've seen, after how you've seen them in playing, a lot of people said West Ham have been playing better than us. You know, we're sitting on the same points now after 13 games and that. But in your opinion, do you see that changing it?
do you know what it is? Yeah, it's two different styles of play, and I guess it's what you prefer. If you prefer a lot of grit, a lot of hard attacking football, and if you you know, a bit dirty, yeah, a lot of people would like to watch West Ham and say they've got the better football and they're the better team to watch. But Arsenal aren't like that. They're based on control. They like to control the game and build from the back up, from the back all the way forward and score a terrific goal or catch people on the counter attack, lure them into traps and stuff like that. That's what Arsenal's about. So, and if you like that from a tactical side, you would appreciate their side of the game. So it's kind of hard to say who's actually playing the good football. I mean, like, the reason why people will say Arsenal's not playing the better football than West Ham is because they have a higher expectancy of Arsenal than what is being shown at the moment. And that's what I can see. But Arsenal have got some players that are really looking good. Do you know what I mean? And showing some great potential. And I think this Arsenal squad are onto something. I think they're onto something. I think they're slightly clicking. They know what they want to achieve when they step onto that pitch. They know what style of play they want to do. And the thing that's impressing me is the way that if something's not slightly working, Arteta's on it now. You know what I mean? Before he would wait, it's like he had like I'm not going to do anything until 65th minute and blah blah. Do you know what I mean? It seemed very robotic, but he seems, you know, I don't know if pragmatic is the right term to use when if there's an opportunity to do something that needs to be done in order to succeed, he just does it kind of immediately. He does that thing, and I kind of see that now. And yeah, I think Arsenal can stay consistent. I don't think they're going to do amazing. I don't think we're going to get any terrific football from them, but I think they can stay consistently at this level from this period. If we can get to mid-January and we're still buzzing around 5th, yeah, I don't see why it couldn't happen.
That's a good point. So while it was said Arsenal top 4, my ball, we're playing Arsenal, and he goes on to say he had us at 7th, but Spurs, Leicester, and United are all messing up. So Arsenal can capitalise and take 4th. Do you think that's possible?
Too high for me. I still got. I've said 6th the whole time. I still think 6th is where we'll probably end up finishing. But yeah, if we can finish higher, obviously by all means, like great. But I think realistically, like we'll probably have a spell in the season where we won't win for a couple of games, and it's probably going to cost us just because it's still a young squad, man. Like the squad isn't all the way there yet. So yeah, it's going to take some fine tuning and whatnot.
So, what do you guys think of Tavares?
Just before we
go first.
Yeah, just before we get in that, yeah, I just want to touch on this as well quickly. I don't think we'll get top 4. I think I'm with Jeff. I think 6th is a good result for us, Europa, and building from there. And Rash, I assume that 5th is you're not going to get gassed and say 4 just because a lot of people had Leicester United and Arsenal ahead of us. You don't think we're gonna just because they're flopping. You don't think we're gonna get 4 fire, do you?
I said what I've said. What I've said.
Yeah, he ain't changing his mind.
I ain't changing my mind. It's 5th. It's gonna be 5th. I don't think they can improve on that. Yeah, I think it's 5th. Top.
So CJ says my fear with Arsenal is Jan. The midfield is already a major concern, and we're gonna lose Partey to the African Cup of Nations. What's your boys' thoughts on that before we go into what Rash said?
Major concern? I don't think it's a major concern, the midfield. I think when we are weak, it's because of the midfield and the lack thereof. But that's against stronger teams, you know what I'm trying to say. But when they put it together, I mean, look, Partey and Lokonga have looked all right together. And when it's time for us to go a little bit more defensive, we've had to pull El Nene out of the bag, but he's there. Xhaka's it's been said that he's on his way back. He's
in Jan. The African Cup of Nations guy.
The African Cup of Nations. Yeah. And we never know what Xhaka we're gonna get back, but if it's the, you know what I mean?
Oh, we do.
Yeah,
we know what we're gonna get back.
I mean, it could be that guy Xhaka or that guy Xhaka. You know what I'm trying to say? We just don't know. But either way, we know it's going to be the ones where we're going to be praying every game. Do you know what I'm trying to say, for his performances? So I don't think we're going to do too bad. I don't think the midfield is the biggest worry. I think goals is at the moment. I think we just need to get a lot more goals than what we are getting at the moment. But I love the consistency against Newcastle. I don't think Arsenal looked like they was in trouble. Yeah, Wilson had the defense on their back foot a couple of times, but other than that, like, I don't think that Arsenal were in danger for that whole game. I think it was a well controlled game. I think they took the opportunities when they had. They could have probably a little bit more. But yeah, man, I think Arsenal controlled that game quite well. For Newcastle, I think it's only Derby City, isn't it, who have gone 13 games without winning from the start of the Prem and not getting relegated. So I think Newcastle on the verge. It's a tipping point for them. If they don't get a win on their next game against Norwich, it's all over. It's a wrap.
So just before Rash, I know you still got a question there about Chavez. We'll come to that just because there's a lot of comments coming through. Jeff, do you want to quickly answer that? Are you worried about Partey going to African Cup of Nations in midfield or?
Yeah, I am. I think he's like the pinnacle of the midfield when he's fit. So don't get me wrong, Lokonga, a lot of potential, good player, but not like he's not really experienced enough to man that midfield. And we've seen what happens when we rely on Xhaka in that midfield. Like Xhaka's a wild boy in that midfield, man. You don't know if he's gonna stay on the pitch or he's gonna give goals away like randomly. Like he's just a strange player. So I worry about it. And even El Neni is going to the African Cup of Nations as well. I'm gonna assume, like,
yeah, he is. He's
so, like, cover wise, it's gonna be looking thin. Like there'll be Maitland-Niles.
Oh yeah,
and maybe even a change in formation. I don't know. Maybe Saka or someone will end up moving there, or Odegaard. We tried Odegaard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still worry about Partey, which is where I think when I mentioned that that 3-4 games without a win, I do feel it will be that January period.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That's good. So Wales asking
January's always the weakest link, isn't it? January and February.
We bounced back last January though from our bad season after we beat Chelsea in December.
Yeah. I think that's one of the only Januaries that we've done all right in. I think.
Yeah, true.
You normally struggle.
Yeah, fair. Wales saying, who do you man think will finish fourth if not Arsenal? So quick one, Rash.
United.
Fair. Jeff?
Can't pick between Liverpool and United.
You can have them both. You can say you're battling between them.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm having United there. Next one. Where's the next one? One thing I'll say is you need a striker because Albert is not the one. Thoughts on that before we go into your question, Rash?
Hey, listen. I saw some news about Arsenal's. I saw some madness going on. I can't remember who sent it in the group. It might have been you, Jeff, and I think I had to tell you to chill out, bro, because I'm not ready to be thinking like that.
Oh yeah, it was me.
Yeah,
what happened? Yeah, go on. Sorry.
If you want to go in and talk about what you sent in.
Yeah, our priority this January is a striker, and I think that's because Lacazette probably won't sign a new deal. So I think that will be the replacement.
So what's wrong with that? What's wrong with him saying that?
No, he doesn't want. Obviously we've had this
man.
many times, innit? So I know who we're linked with. I'm not even gonna say it because it's
don't
no
even
need.
say it, bro.
But like we'll see in January. But obviously we get linked to a lot of man, and it happens a lot of seasons in a row, and we don't get them. So that's why Rash don't want to get excited.
And you know what, bro? The reason why I'm not gonna say it because I'm tired of man laughing at Arsenal fans. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say it, bro. Yeah, because I'm not gonna have man. Ha! He was Rashid. Arsenal are getting. No, I didn't say none of that. Yeah.
So do you guys what YO said here quickly? Just a quick one because then we got to go question Rash and then we'll wrap it up. About Alba, do you think he's not the one?
I think he's getting old, but he's still all right. He
Jeff?
tries.
Nah, I wouldn't say he's not the one. Me personally, you already know my feelings on Alba. I'm never gonna say that. Like, I feel we just need another type of striker also. So if Lacazette's gonna go, you need a younger, more able version of him. Or Aubameyang is just a goal scorer, so you give him the ball, he will score majority of the time.
I don't know who saying say it to. I think that was you, Rash. You wanted to say it with your chest.
Nah. I'm opting out of that one.
So CJ staying our attack probably is our biggest concern overall. Plus, I feel like we're 1 or 2 injuries away from having a big problem, especially if we lose Tommy, Saka, or Elmer Smith Rowe. Thoughts on that, Jeff?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's just because we don't like our goal difference is still minus or 0, one of the two. I can't remember which one it is. It might be 0 now, which isn't great. So we don't score many goals. So if we lose Saka, I guess at this point, that creativity goes a bit. If we lose Aubameyang, even though he's missed 2 penalties in a row and a sitter the other day, he's still probably no, he's not probably. He is our best converter of chances. So, like, I'd agree. And yeah, like, people like Pepe, listen, man, if you come in, we're not going to get any goals from you, are we? So, like, it don't help.
Man. No. Rash, what do you think before we move on?
Yeah, look, if we was to lose either one of those players, it would be a big loss. Because Tomiyasu's coming in, he's really fitted in well. He knows his assignment. He's doing it to a T. Do you know what I mean? And he's looking good. He can play right back. He looks like he can, because he goes in centre as well sometimes. Do you know what I mean? He's up the field. So he seems like a good all-round player as well. And he's strong. For some reason, I thought he was going to be weak. But he's strong as well. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. And Saka won us that game at the weekend. I think he was the best player on the pitch. Emil Smith Rowe, he's been quiet the last few games, but then he'll have like a 10-15 spell where he'll show himself, he'll be part of the reason why we scored the goals that we did. But for the rest of the game, he'll be very quiet. Would it be such a big loss if we lost him for 2 or 3 games? I think it's actually been a struggle for Odegaard and him to both be on the pitch at the same time, or have one and not the other. So I think both players are playing in their unpreferred position sometimes. So I think when if only one's available, I think we'll just be able to see one just flourish in the position a little bit more and get a longer run. So I don't. Those aren't the dangers that I don't think like. If we lose, I think Tomiyasu will be the biggest one, because then we're going to have a look back at those guys again. Do you know what I'm trying to say? To fill in that right back position. Do you know what I mean? With Saka and Emil Smith Rowe, if one of them goes, I think we'll be all right because we've got cover. But if both of them go, we're finished. But that's just like most teams if they lost 2 or 3 of their best creative players.
So, while don't say something mad like Mbappe. No, it's not mad. We're not linked to him, bro. Chill. Big up our guy JB in the building. Ain't seen you here for a while. Big him up. Tomiyasu.
Tomiyasu, man. I know you know who Tommy is.
Big up my guy. Yes, -2. So I think we're -2 still. So it's funny that we've only lost. Well, so I say only, but we've lost 4 games, right? And we still haven't made up the numbers. That's kind of bad, isn't it? For a team.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
no, but that was Liverpool. Liverpool slapped us about. That's why that happened.
That's Liverpool. That was City beating us 5-0 as well. City beat us 5-0.
No. But we caught up. We got ourselves back to 0, and then
did we?
Yeah.
Just the fact that even like 10, 11 games in, you're fine to get to 0.
Well, we did, but we lost our first 3, so it's always hard. You know what I mean? You got to try and not lose, and then you got to try and score.
Yeah, it's just kind of like the balance has changed. Like obviously, like we used to be this free for all team, attack, score a lot of goals. Now it's like be more compact and try and like win 1-0, 2-0. So it's gonna take a while before we get back to that free flow and stuff.
Yeah. Quickly, no update on Xhaka. I think he's okay. But Martinelli really did take his chance, so it's good to see him back. To be fair, it was good to see him. Took the piss. Shouldn't be scoring like that, man. We're coming back from your like second touch on the ball. You shouldn't be doing that. Disrespectful you. Anyway,
it's a great way to come back.
Yeah.
So what's the criticism of his attacking play? I will say in the past few games he has pop minus the Liverpool game, he actually looked better going forward. Obviously that's not his strong point. But I'm not gonna sit here and say it's like Wan-Bissaka bad. Like, because like Wan-Bissaka's attack is actually a cause for concern. Like Tomiyasu's is not a cause for concern. It's just you're better going one way.
But listen, just to touch on Aaron Wan-Bissaka, it's not just his attack anymore. His defending's been a bit shocking recently too. He'll get the odd slide tackle in, which would be a good challenge. But man, his decision making lately has been really poor.
I don't think it's lately, man. I think his decision making has always been kind of bad. Like it's his one-on-one defending that's the standout. Like obviously anyone who goes up against one-on-one, you're gonna have a hard time. He shut down Mbappe. It could be anyone. Like he'll give them a hard time, but actual defending and like adjusting, he's not good at it.
Like you lot got a worse goal defense than us, and we've been getting slaughtered.
But that's because when you guys do win, you lot score by lots of goals. You don't just win 1-0. You lot bang goals.
No, they lose, but actually not. They don't lose like 2-1, sometimes 3-1, small ones like that.
But the thing is that they score lots. We don't score goals.
I think this will be the last comment, man. Then we got to shut out people. I know everyone's busy now, but we've got to take off. But where are we? By the way, that Martinelli goal, Arteta needs to give him more minutes. Look at the difference he makes. Such a direct player. Thoughts on that, lads?
I think, do you know what? It's been hot and cold with him this season. He's had opportunities to come on the pitch and he hasn't really made the best account of himself at times. And then sometimes he can come on the pitch and do what he came on and did. So he just needs to find consistency, but that's only going to come with a run of games, and you can't expect someone to be consistent if they're not playing a lot of games. Do you know what I mean? And coming on a couple minutes here in this game, wait a couple weeks, play a couple minutes in that game. He needs a run of game in order to build that consistency, in order for us to see the Martinelli that we saw before, and for him to reach the potential that we know he can. But he's got time as well. He's a young buck.
What do you think on that, Jeff?
Nah, I agree, man. Like, should get some minutes. I think he will get some minutes, especially if people go African Cup of Nations and stuff. He'll get some minutes. He'll get some chances. Just needs to grab his chance when he can, man. Like, he's young, still going to make mistakes and whatnot. Like, it's probably Arsenal's fans' fault to a degree that we put such high pressure on him anyway. But he's still a good player, man. A good young player, man. So just give him some time.
Big up Dermot, man. Big up Dermot in the building. Yes, bro. Listen, man. Stop trying to gas us, bro. He's
always trying it. He's always trying.
No, big up Dermot, man. Big up Dermot and the boys, man. But yeah, man. Liverpool are smashing it, bro. But us, we're not there yet, man. We know that we still got progress that needs to be made, man. But yeah, it's good to be in the position that we are. You know, joint with the fourth place at the moment. But we still see ourselves being sixth, man. There's going to be a bumpy road, and we expect it to be January, as the boys have said. But that's pretty much it today, boys. Very quickly. Forward of the week and play of the. What does John say? Play of the week, man of the week,
and forward of the week.
Forward of the week. I'll go first. Forward of the week will be. Come on, we get to Maguire. He got a red. Come on, we give it to Maguire. He got a red. Keenan Carragher for having that conversation on air, getting at each other.
That was good, man.
They were that. I'm gonna give player of the week to. It's got to be too short. Chelsea, man, for that comeback, man. I'm sorry, man. I know I should. You guys are thinking, what is he on about? But they could have lost that 1-0, man, and they just kept going and fighting, man. That's a strong team there, man. So I'm gonna give it to Too Short for that comeback to 1-1. What do you boys think before we lock off? And Rash, you got something to say at the end, or?
No, it's all right. It's up to you. I mean, I do, but it's up. Yeah, actually, I do. I'll be very quick though. But
No, go on.
Ford. I don't know if it's much of a fraud, but I'm gonna call it fraud anyway. It's Newcastle United. yeah. It's straight Newcastle, and the reason why it's Newcastle is because man's trying to say you got a problem. You got a managerial problem. I don't care. We got money. Okay, yeah, but you got a problem. You ain't got no style to play. I don't care. We got money. I don't care. Watch when January comes. Look where you are in January. You're rock bottom. Just rock bottom. Yeah. It's a problem for you guys. And you guys you got to be the champions of the championship. It's like you got Eddie Howe in there because he's the king of the championship and they just know where you lot are heading. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's what it seems to be. Man ain't forgot about you, Newcastle. You're going to be the richest club in the championship and in the world. In the whole entire world and in the championship. Brace that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Jesus
Newcastle.
That was a lot.
I'm gonna give a little bit of a praise to Tavares because I was on him first half because his delivery was so poor. You know what I'm trying to say? His touch was getting on my nerves. He would overrun the ball as well sometimes, but he was active. Do you know what I mean? He was active and he worked hard on what he was doing, and then he came out second half and he kind of changed the game around slight. Arteta had a quick word with him, but whatever he did say, it changed the game around and he had a really good game. I think it's one of his best games that he's had in an Arsenal shirt. So shout out to Tavares.
Cool, bro.
Yeah, and lovely. It's just for the week it's probably the wrong title, but yeah, Jorginho for that touch was my god. I know it's a hard touch to do. Yeah, that touch was ridiculous. Wow. You gifted a goal with that bad touch. So yeah, he definitely gets fraud of the week for that, even though he redeemed himself with the penalty after. There's no excuse for such a bad touch. Player of the week or man of the week, I'm gonna give it to Maddison. Guess I've got a lot of stick throughout the start of the season, but he played really well, man. Against Watford. He looked like the Maddison of old. He picked himself up a goal. A couple of assists, played really well, man.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, big up Madison, man. And Rash, take us out, man. Let us know what's going on.
All right, man. So I'm just gonna keep this brief because I'm aware of the time. All right, but I just want everyone to remember what is going on over in China to the Uyghurs. Okay, they haven't managed to have us speak about what's happened over the last few weeks, but basically, I don't know what sort of court system it was, but a lot of them had a chance to have their testimonies in the courts in Britain a couple of weeks ago. And some of the testimonies that they were saying, you know, like where they were being forced to abandon their religion or to eat pork or to listen to colonial music or colonial verses and stuff like that, for them to give up their women to soldiers, you know, people coming into their houses and they're to prepare food for them, being force fed in the month of Ramadan, but most of all been put in concentration camps, being separated from their families, being tortured where they are. I mean, it's not like we don't know about it, and every media in every country has reported it once or twice, and everyone's fully aware of what's going on. There's been no boycotts, there's been no warning, and at the moment, it just seems like they are people that no one seems to care about. You have to remember that these people are humans, they have families, they bleed just like us. No one deserves to have this sort of persecution or any persecution actually. Okay, so it's for us to, I mean, I want to say boycott, but it just doesn't seem like it's ever going to happen. Okay, and that seems to be the thing what you can do in order to hurt the government in China as much as possible in order to know that people want change. Okay, and it's usually through the boycotting system because they own a lot of the products and within the trade and something like that. But if you can't do that, because it's very hard in the world and the time that we live in, just spread awareness and just don't forget them. And if you are a spiritual person and you're in tune with between yourself and your creator, then pray for them and just remember them and do whatever you can to spread awareness, because what's happening over there is just not right, you know. And us as human beings, I think we can do a lot more. The governments need to do a lot more around the world, and the people within China need to do something, because it's still your people. It's still your people that it's happening to. Do you know what I mean? You need to stand up for these people. But yeah, love always wins. Let's keep it positive for the next few days, lads.
Great message, man. Love always wins, man. We end it there. We'll be back this week some point. But yeah, man, great message, Rash. Love, peace. We're out.
Salam.